Days after the crash, Bruno was severely injured in a scooter accident and later charged with murder and reckless driving. No word tonight on how he ended up in Florida, and no cause was given for Bruno's death. Toxicology tests are still pending. And now to the homeless crisis and a new report that claims LA City and county leaders spent billions of taxpayer dollars last year to get people off the streets, but they can't account for all the money they spent or what the exact results were. KCAL News reporter Jeff Nguyen live in downtown LA with the blistering report documenting a lack of oversight. Jeff?
Juan, the audit combed over about $2.5 billion in city spending. Problem is, officials cannot say who got paid and for what.
Since August, there were days when we see 2 and 3 overdoses.
Sergio Moreno's business sits in the heart of Skid Row, where he says he often sees homeless people overdosing on drugs, and he's had suspicion on how the city of Los Angeles has managed the response system to the problem.
It's not just dollars we're talking about. Those dollars translate into people's lives.
His feelings have been heightened following an independent audit commissioned by a federal judge that was released Thursday. It found the city was unable to track exactly how it spent on homeless programs. The Los Angeles Alliance for Human Rights pressed for a series of audits in recent years.
It's heartbreaking. It's atrocious. It is immoral, it is unjustified, but what it's not is surprising.
Many of the problems identified were at the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, known as LAHSA. Auditors say the paper trail provided by the agency was so poor it made tracking the money spent nearly impossible. We're talking about $2.5 billion last year.
It is an actual infrastructure disaster because the truth is everybody's in charge and nobody's in charge. There are no checks and balances.
The Office of LA County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath sent a statement that read in part, "This audit is another reminder of what we already know. The current homeless services system is broken. We need accountability and results right now, which is why I'm proceeding with the creation of a consolidated county department that will end this nightmare." The president of the Downtown LA Neighborhood Council believes there are other record-keeping problems.
Even the homeless count is not accurate. Nothing is accurate and based on data.
2 here, 2 right here.
Auditors found a series of problems on how tax dollars are spent after reviewing nearly $2.5 billion in city funding.
This needs to be an opportunity that our leadership cannot waste. They must pivot and actually implement things that do work.
And we have reached out to both LAHSA and the office of LA Mayor Karen Bass for comment, but we are still waiting to hear back. In the meantime, the judge has set a date for March 27th, and he has asked city officials to join him for a meeting to discuss the audit. Tonight, we're live in downtown Los Angeles. Jeff Nguyen, KCAL News.
An eye-opening report, Jeff. Thanks so much for that.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Breakneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
As you heard at the beginning, they did an audit, found that billions of dollars has disappeared. Go figure. How much you want to bet that if you actually took a look at it, that people that were politically connected were collecting quite a bit of money, and that money somehow disappeared from their possession in, like, oh, I don't know, people getting paid exorbitant amounts of money, that kind of thing, you know, just the normal political moves of today. In LA, it's a Democrat Party. In other cities, it's a Republican Party. That's the way it goes in politics nowadays. You don't actually go to fix the problem. You send billions of dollars into the problem so that you can help people's wallets out that are politically connected to you. Yep, that's what happens, and that's what's been going on here. And I've got another video that's going to show you exactly more of the silliness of what's been going on. And yes, it is just basically silliness. So folks, if you like watching videos on fraud, waste, abuse of the government tax dollars, of people abusing their government power, hey, you found the right channel right here. Hit like, subscribe, help me out, help me get to, I'm wanting to get to 1,000 with the 4,000 watch hours and all that this year so I can get everything moving because next year is going to be a big year to get interviews with politicians. So let's get into this video though.
A sobering report on efforts to provide shelter for the homeless in the city of Los Angeles.
Yes, an audit has found many beds have gone unused for years at a big cost to taxpayers. KTLA's Omar Lewis is live in Woodland Hills with the details. Omar, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Despite efforts from the city to convert former hotels into shelters like this one here in Woodland Hills, that audit revealed some major gaps in how resources for homelessness are managed, finding that 1 in 4 interim housing beds went unused over a 5-year period, costing taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. We can tell you more information this morning from that audit by the LA City Controller. It found that from 2019 to 2023, 1 in 4 city-funded shelter beds went unused, costing Los Angeles taxpayers an estimated $218 million. That's according to the audit released on Tuesday by LA City Controller Kenneth Mejia. The report revealed that only 20% of interim shelter residents transitioned to permanent housing, while more than half returned to homelessness or had unknown outcomes. Mejia called the findings unjustifiable, saying any bed that goes unfilled means an unsheltered person living on the streets is waiting longer than they need to move into a safer space and begin their path to permanent housing. Now, the Los Angeles Housing Services Authority, or LAHSA, said many of the issues occurred before current leadership took over. LAHSA's current CEO says that her team has prioritized improvements since day one, and that includes a record 18% increase in permanent housing placements last year and new systems to track bed availability and performance. Still, the audit emphasizing systemic issues, including severe data quality problems and a lack of formal reservation policies. Mejia also pointed to barriers like landlord discrimination against people using housing vouchers, urging lawmakers to address these challenges head on. In a statement from Controller Mejia, it reads in part, "This is unjustifiable, especially given that there's a massive bed shortage. Local lawmakers should pass legislation that would prevent landlords from requiring credit checks for people using vouchers or subsidies. It would eliminate an unnecessary barrier to permanent housing." Now, that audit also went on to recommend other things to the city, like adding more housing navigators and also clarifying some of the ways that the city collects its data here from that report. We have reached out to representatives from LAHSA and the city controller's office to react and respond with an interview to this latest audit. Of course, we'll bring that to you as soon as it happens. But that is the latest for now. Live here from Woodland Hills this morning, I'm Omar Lewis. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
LAHSA, by the way, is the LA homeless agency out there. So there's all this money that's been going. As you heard in both videos, billions of dollars lost. They were thinking only a couple of months ago that it was only a few hundred million. Seriously. How much better does it sound like when you go, oh, there's only a few hundred million versus a few billion? And then throw on top of the fact that they weren't even filling the homeless shelters up when they could. No. So it gets to the point where you've got to wonder, all the Democrat Party is like this. You know this. Quite a bit, if not most, of the Republican Party is like this. We keep voting the same people into office, and you wonder why it happens. Well, this is what happens if you don't pay attention to what you're electing. If you keep voting the same kinds of people into office, this is what happens. Period. End of story. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. If you vote the same morons into office, even if it's just changing skins, it's basically you're watching a video game. When you're somebody like me, you watch it as a video game. You're just changing the skin. Somebody has bought the cosmetic pack. That's all they've done. So this is what happens. Well, this has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Thought I'd just bring this to your attention. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Well, hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.